Hey everybody, JR from JR's Cars, and welcome to another episode of As the Hyundai Turns. So I figured I'd make this video because if I tell you, I'm not getting any success with Hyundai at this point. Um, I've reached out to Hyundai corporate. So backstory, you could take a look up here. It'll show you everything that you want to know about the engine failure in the car. I'm going to scroll those through the video so you can check those out at any time. But the whole thing is I know this failure is definitely to do with the recall that was happening, right? So Hyundai had a recall. They had manufacturing defects that caused these Theta 2 engines to fail. Their bearings failed. You would get rod knock, you would get check engine codes, things like that, decreased power. It would stop the engine from running. You can't go over 1600 RPM. You can't go above 60 miles an hour. So right now, my car's sitting in the driveway, and it's been there for the last week, and I can't use it. That's what it is. I can't use the car. So I reached out to Hyundai Corp, and I created a consumer fair case. So it took a couple days. I figured it was going to take a couple days with everything going on right now, that it was just going to take a little bit of time for somebody to get back to me. After I did have somebody reach back out to me, my local rep. I'm in New Jersey, and my local rep is in California. So part of the problem is, of course, the time zones. So they're 3 hours behind us, and she starts around like 9 o'clock in the morning. By the time I can reach out to her, it's noon, and that's when she starts her business day. The problem with that, of course, is now all the dealerships here are starting to close down at 2 o'clock. So I have about that much time to get in touch with the dealer, trying to find out what's going on locally. So I finally got a call back from the sales rep. And when I got a call back from the sales rep, she said basically that I'm going to have to take the car to the dealership. They're going to have to inspect it, which I understand. That's the way things are. You can't just take anybody for their word of things. You have to be Hyundai certified technician in order to say what's actually wrong with the engine. Now, I know this is going to be a problem with the engine. I know it's the same thing as what this recall is all about. I'm trying to get an answer out of them. The problem is I'm not getting anything out of anyone. So she had reached out to me. She said that I have to bring it over to the dealership, which is fine. I have no problems with it if that's going to be the case. The biggest problem that I'm seeing right now is, of course, everything costs money. So at this point, I got to get it towed to the dealership. Then I reached out to the dealership and asked them what additional fees I'm going to be charged. So they said they have a $155 diagnostic fee in order to just look at the car. So now I'm looking at a $100 fee to tow it, a $155 fee to take a look at it. And that's not guaranteeing that they're not going to do anything with it. Like they're going to want to open up the engine or do something like that to take a look at the bearings and see if it's, something that, long-term failure, or if it's something that happened with their manufacturing defect. So I could be out twice that amount of money. That's the problem. And then what I'm trying to get them to do in Hyundai is I want somebody to give me an answer. At this point, the car's at 135,000 miles, right? At 120,000 miles, the extended warranty expires. So after 120,000 miles, the way I see it is it's my expense. That's just the way that it is. It's my expense. Anything that happens to the car, anything that happens to the engine is on me to repair and replace and pay out of my pocket. Which, if that's the case, I have no problem with it. Just tell me that that's what the problem is, and that's what you're going to do, and that's Hyundai's method of recourse, right? So I'm asking this person, if they get the car, they find out that it is, in fact, a problem with the engine, and it is, in fact, a problem that's the same as what the recall is for. If they get the car, and that's what it is, will you do anything for it? 135,000 miles on the car, 15,000 miles over the warranty. Will you do anything for me? And I can't get anybody to give me an answer, right? So I'm at my wit's end with these people. So what I asked them for, and I guess I was a little brash with her before, but you know what? It is what it is. The car's unusable. I can't do anything with it. This is obviously a manufacturing defect. Because look, I always watch my cars. I always watch what I'm doing with them. I always maintain them. I'm always underneath the car. Anyone in my family can attest to it. They can write down in the comments if they want to say that too. Anybody in my family will say the same thing, that I'm always working on a car, right? I'm always changing my oil. I'm always looking at the fluids. I'm always looking at things. That car, I know specifically, has always had a problem with burning oil, right? I've always had a problem with it, right? I took it to the dealership when I had the warranty done. I'm sorry, when I had the recall done, and I brought up the oil consumption. What they basically said was, for every 1,000 miles of driving, it's typical for a Hyundai with the Theta engine in it to lose 1 quart of oil. Now, you're talking about a car that has a 5-quart capacity, right? So in a typical oil change interval, you're looking at like 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Just depends on how you maintain your cars. I typically go about 5,000 miles. With that car, usually was around like every 4,000 miles I would do it. I would change the oil in it because it almost seemed like it changed itself. So for a interval of 4,000 miles, it's typical by Hyundai to lose 1 quart per 1,000 miles. So out of 5 quarts, I'm going to lose 4 quarts in a typical oil change interval. Now, I know I said it in a previous video, and you can watch the video up here too. This is another video of me actually praising this car. I did like this car, and I do like this car. It is a good car. But the problem is, of course, now I can't use it. I can't do anything with it. So, and that ran. So what I asked them to do at this point was, because everything is, you know, we're going through hard times. Everybody's going through hard times right now. People are out of work. You know, I'm working from home. I'm lucky enough to be able to still be working. My wife, unfortunately, had her hours cut. So we have to watch our money, and that's the way that it is. So what I asked them to do is, if I bring the car to the dealership and I pay for the tow, I'm okay with the tow, whatever it is, you know, that's going to be on me. I probably should have just had a tow to the dealership from the beginning when it failed, and I had to actually have it towed back to my house. But I wanted to look at it first. I didn't want to just bring it to a dealership either. So what I asked them is, look, if you can't give me a straight answer as to if the car being 135,000 miles, being 15,000 over the warranty period, if you can't give me an answer whether you would definitively work with me, I'm not even saying that you need to cover it at full cost. Just work with me. Tell me that if you find that the engine has failed in the fashion that initiated this whole recall to begin with, if it failed in that way, then we will definitely work with you on a replacement. We may not give you 100%, but we'll give you something. You know, minimum would be 50%, or I don't even need to know that. I just need to know that they would actually do something. Not that I'm going to drive, I'm going to have the car towed up there. I'm going to pay the $155 fee to the dealership to have them look at the car, which, I mean, honestly, you could pull the dipstick out, you could look at the oil that's on it, you could see the metal shavings in it. And I mean, I'm going to pay $155 to have somebody do that, or are they going to charge me more to crack open the oil pan to see if there's more damage in there than not, which I kind of have a feeling that the way that she was saying that they're going to be inspecting this, that they're going to want to do more inspection. They're going to want to do more than just the $155, oh, you have a check engine light, this is what the problem is. So what I asked is to have Hyundai, a multi-billion-dollar company, extend a hand to their customers and say, you know what, we'll give you the $155 back. We'll work with the dealership. We will cover the cost of the $155 so you can feel a little better about what's going on right now, right? Getting nowhere. I got nothing. So I'm at a loss right now. I don't even know what to do with this. I told her I'm at a loss. I don't understand why a multi-billion-dollar company, $155, that's nothing to them. It's absolutely nothing, but it's the world to me. It could be a shopping trip. You know, it's a trip to the food store to get some supplies to last us for, you know, a week or something like that. It's asinine to me that they wouldn't even extend that to me. So I'm at the point where I'm just aggravated with the way that I'm being handled. I'm aggravated in the way that things are going. The dealership, I know, has to make money. That's the way that it is. They have to pay their people. I get it. But Hyundai Corp, you know, they can do this. They can take the $155 out of their pocket and extend that hand to me and just say, you know what, we'll eat the cost, that's it, but you have to tow it to us. And if you don't want us, and if we're not going to do anything for you and you don't accept the terms of what we're doing with your car, then you can take the car and have it towed back to you. And I'd be okay with eating the tow there and eating the tow back. But being that I know that this is a failure that is very common and indicative of a problem that they had with this specific engine, I know that for a fact, that I'm just not getting anywhere. I'm just not going to get anywhere with them. I don't know why they would want to not work with me on this. So at this point, I pulled a Karen move and I said, you know what? Let me talk to your supervisor. Get me a call back. I know I'm going to get nowhere with them too. I'm sure of it. Right. So they're telling me that, you know, there's nothing that you can do. You know, you're going to have to send it to us. We're going to have to look at it. And then afterwards, you know, we'll give you an evaluation of what we can do because each case is going to be different. Okay. I get each case is going to be different, but I don't want to give this car to you and give you $400. Well, not give them $400, but give the dealership at least, at minimum, at very minimum, $155 and be out of the money, the tow, the $155, and then the tow back just to be at square one where here I am sitting with the car sitting in my driveway, absolutely unusable. So I don't even know what I'm going to do with this at this point. So it's, I've seen videos on, you know, going in the engine and just replacing the bearings, you know, getting some undersized bearings and replacing them, polishing the journals. I've seen, it really, if you're not taking everything out and doing it right, then, you know, there's always a possibility of it spinning again, right? So if you have one of the journals that's really bad, it could end up grabbing one of the brand new bearings and spinning that. If you have one of the rod caps that rounded out, that was not round anymore, but it was oblong because, you know, it spun the bearing and it chewed up the metal bits in it, chewed up the metal of the rod caps. That's always a possibility too. And then here I am again, wasting time, wasting money, wasting effort to just be back at square one. Right. So I don't know. I'm going to wait for them to reach back out to me. I'm going to wait for the supervisor to reach back out to me. If I call this woman again, it's not going to be very pleasant. This call was not pleasant because I'd called her yesterday. I got no answer. I called her again this morning. I got no answer. And then she called me back a little bit later in the day. And then I had that whole phone conversation. That was probably about a good 25-minute conversation of, I can't do anything for you. I can't do anything for you. Nobody can tell you that. So I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna wait. We're gonna see what if her manager can do anything. If they know somebody that would be able to give me an answer of saying, you know what, we'll eat the $155 to take a look at your car, just bring it into us and we'll handle things. But I think it's bad on customer service. I really think it's bad on customer service that you have a failure that, I mean, honestly, they don't need to say yes to everything I'm saying. I'm not a certified mechanic, right? I'm not a Hyundai certified mechanic. I'm not a certified mechanic at all. I'm a shade tree. And you don't need to take what I'm saying to heart, but I'm giving you all this information. And to tell you the truth, I was expecting that somebody who was going to call me back was going to be somebody who was aware of what's going on. Like, this is somebody with some sort of technical knowledge, somebody that I could talk to on the level and explain what's going on. And this person is definitely not. So I don't know. We'll see what their manager has to say. And I guess we'll take it from there. Whether or not, I mean, we have a lot of options that we're going to look into. But Hyundai, to me, I don't ever think that this is going to be another, it's not going to be a repeat purchase. I don't think that I would buy another Hyundai at this point. Looking at the recalls now extending even to a 2019 model. You're talking about, you knew about this engine failure for well over 2 years, and now you're still having the same problem, and you're extending these warranties and doing these recalls on 2019 models too. So you still had this problem. You knew about the problem, and you didn't fix the problem before you put these engines in these cars and sent them out to your lots. So customer service so far has not been very impressive. Actually, it's not been impressive at all. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'll keep you guys posted. And if you want, don't forget to check out my channel. I'll put a link down in the description below. Subscribe, like, share this around, because maybe it'll help somebody else out, see what they would, if they were considering buying a Hyundai with this Theta 2 engine in it, you might want to reconsider. All right. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. I know it's a little long-winded here, but I need to rant to somebody, right? And why not rant to YouTube? What the hell? Why not, right? So don't forget, give me a like here. Spread this around. The more likes that I get, the more YouTube spreads this content around. So do me a favor, give me a like here, share it with your friends. So I'll catch you guys in the next video, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I have some sort of method to resolve with this car. Have a good one and stay safe, everyone.